GoPros have come a long way over the years.
The GoPro HD HERO was just
Hero
released.
5 is the first GoPro to be waterproof without...
But the GoPro HERO 11 is arguably one of GoPro's best cameras because of its one hidden feature.
The GoPro HERO 11 now lets you
But it's
film.
also one of the best vlogging cameras of today, in my opinion, and I'll tell you 5 major reasons why a little bit later on. But if I were to start with the first reason, I'd go as far as to say that nearly every content creator should have a HERO 11 because there's one feature that allows anyone to create content across social media that much easier. I recently went to Malta and naturally I took my HERO 11 with me as I went to do an adrenaline adventure which consisted of abseiling and climbing a route in the mountains with just a harness, carabiners and steel cables and rungs. But all the way there on the coach I was thinking, do I film this horizontally and then crop vertically after, losing lots of the frame and maybe some of the action? Or do I just film this vertically, prioritising the vertical format and then dropping it into a horizontal video? Until I remembered I didn't have to compromise. If you've ever been in that situation, what if I told you you could film both horizontally and vertically at the exact same time with just one camera and this new feature? When you go into the settings menu of a previous GoPro and you go to select the resolution, the aspect ratio and the frame rate, there's the standard 16:9 and 4:3 aspect ratio, but the HERO 11 now has a new 8:7 which uses the entirety of the sensor to allow you to shoot footage that looks like this. You might be thinking, how does this help me? It's basically a square. Well, you can now use this aspect ratio to crop your vertical video and your horizontal video, and now it will look as though you filmed them natively, but all you did was film once and save yourself a lot of time, and you can also crop different aspect ratios as well. But that aspect ratio does come with a slight disadvantage that might put you off, but I'll get onto that later. So my bold claim about this being the best vlogging camera of today all kind of started when I felt really self-conscious filming in public with my big, amazing mirrorless camera, the Sony a7S III. I wanted a much smaller, discreet camera, and even though I had the DJI Pocket 2, it's not weather sealed and I get caught in the rain a lot.
I am absolutely soaked.
And I've always liked GoPro, but that typical action camera look always put me off using it as a main vlogging camera. The HERO 11 still has this problem when shooting in natural, but with its updated 10-bit specs paired with shooting flat, and the fact that Film Convert came out with a camera pack for Film Convert Nitrate, their film emulation suite that lets me make my HERO 11 footage look film-like and cinematic, taking away that typical action camera look, the HERO 11 became my perfect vlogging choice. Using Film Convert Nitrate, I could dial in the look to be exactly as I wanted it to be, I could make the film stock and the grain as intense as I wanted it to be, and I was so happy that I finally had a camera that didn't draw attention to myself whilst I was out vlogging, but also gave me that high quality look that I originally sought from my super expensive $4,000 mirrorless camera that I no longer have to lug around with me. But all that aside, this 8:7 aspect ratio means nothing if you're completely put off by the distortion it creates in certain environments. Most notably, any straight lines. But that's something I think I can compromise on when it comes to shooting content for both YouTube and vertical social media platforms.